Hello, boys and girls and children of all ages. Fat Bastard Wannabe Buddha coming at you today. Today's video is going to be about the government shutdown, and my hope, it's a small hope, but just don't take it away from me, my hope that finally, just maybe, I'm going to get the economic collapse that I've been pining for all these years. That it might actually happen. I know. It's not going to happen. Eventually, what happens with the Republicans, with the Republicans, is Bonnier or Boehner or whatever the orange man is called. The boys come to him, and the corporations. When I say the boys, they come to him and they give him a piece of paper and they tell him which board of directors he's going to sit on, or which lobbying company he's going to work for with a 7 to 8 figure salary, and he'll go in there and remove the Hastings, violate the Hastings rule, and end this government shutdown. But I can hope. I can just hope. I know eventually Ted Cruz rolls over and then his wife reminds him that he's nothing more than a Goldman Sachs fluffer and tell him to get down and do what he was designed to do, you know. But I can have this hope. That I can have this little, don't take it away from me, this little small hope that maybe, just maybe, the system finally is going to collapse, that we can get the death of empire that I've been longing for, and unfortunately believe the only way we're going to stop the empire is for a total collapse economically of the American system. But the reason I have a little hope, and I know it's a folly to have hope. You know, Obama's taught us that. But I got a little hope that it might happen is because certain things have radically changed in American political society. One of the major radical changes is that the political parties don't have the same amount of power that they once did over their members. Back in the good old days, you know, the members pretty much had to, you know, dance to the tune that the party set. But and even the Republicans were the last one to fold. The Democrats got folded long before then. It's like herding cats. But the Republicans always had a tremendous amount of party unity brought forth by being controlling the purse strings. But in the late 70s and the early 80s, this sort of had changed because a lot of people developed independent source of revenue for their own political campaigns. They weren't as dependent upon the party structure in order to help organize and do paid commercials and the rest of the things. So they had developed their own little system of independent campaign contributors. Actually, it's pretty much the same people that always contribute to it, and right now most of the money is coming from the FIRE economy, finance, insurance, and real estate. But just maybe enough of these Tea Party people have enough, you know, independent sources of revenue that they can, you know, stand up to their party leadership that will eventually cave on this. When Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan and Wells Fargo and the boys, when they get close enough, they're defaulting on the debt, then the hammer drops on them. But I can hope that these people, you know, steel their spine up a little bit, and they will remember that since 2010 they re-gerrymandered the districts so drastically that even though the Republicans lost the popular vote, the Democrats won the popular vote as far as the House of Representatives. More people voted for Democratic House of Representatives members than they voted for Republican ones, but still the Republicans control the majority in there, which is a great thing. Maybe these people realize that they are in totally safe districts, that nothing possibly can happen to them. The worst case scenario is they get primaried by some wackadoodle nutcase that's even further to the right than they are. So hopefully that stills their spine just enough that they can actually bring about the economic collapse that I'm hoping for. But I don't think it will happen. I really don't. I don't think they got enough nerve to go full bore and not only just shut the government down for 1 or 2 or 3 days, but go all the way to October 15th and 17th and really push for defaulting and refusing to raise the debt ceiling. That's what I'm hoping for, but I don't think they got it in them. I think they really don't. And I think that the Tea Party, they don't know it yet, but they've been conned. It was, you know, the Tea Party itself was a big con to begin with. It was basically a bunch of rich people getting together in a way to organize all the rabble, you know, to keep them herded together and going down a track of stupidity and meaningless, and get them to vote against their own best interest. They ain't figured it out yet, but don't tell them. It's sort of like telling people the spoilers of movies and stuff, and there's no Santa Claus. It just really disappoints them and upsets them greatly. But don't tell them that it's a con, and it's been a con for the past 6 months that they've been organizing, gearing it towards this shutdown. And what it really is for, I'm not completely sure of my little conspiracy theory, but this is my most recent one. That what it's for is so that the Tea Party and the extreme populist rural white takes the damage on this and takes the hit on it. They get blamed and further and further marginalized, because they're going to be walking away with the bag of what when this is all said and done. It's going to be all on their front doorstep when it's all said and done, and the American people will turn against them like a rabid dog. And that's what the Republican leadership did. They used the Tea Party for what its purpose was, and now they no longer need it. So they're going to let it, hoist itself on its own petard and destroy themselves by this and their own popularity. But I'm just hoping that there's enough, they've gerrymandered the districts just enough that these people got enough independent sources of revenue in order to mount a political campaign, that, the little bubble of information that surrounds them, the Glenn Becks, the Rush Limbaughs, the Hannitys, the Mark Levins, just hopefully that these people are insulated enough from the power structure that they can keep these people out there fighting, and that we can go full bore to a United States default on the debt. Because that's the only thing that's going to stop the war machine. That's the only thing that's going to slow down the empire. Now, yes, Obama's really beyond happy that, he just gave a speech in the UN, which he was more that basically, we're going to bomb everybody and take your stuff. That's what America's going to do from now on. We're going to bomb you and take your oil and your resources, because that's what we're in. And there's no way to stop that except maybe the Tea Party. Maybe the Tea Party can stop and save America by destroying the empire. That's what I'm hoping for. But I don't hold out much hope for it, because I think what's going on is the Tea Party, and especially rural, white, southern, working class folks, are being set up to take a fall. That's what's going to happen to them. They're going to be the goat on this one, and they were set up to be the goat on this one, and they're just too stupid to figure it out. But maybe the system will work in their favor. Maybe, being detached from reality inspires, these people to more and more greater levels of lunacy, and they can actually do it. But I want to believe so much that they don't back down, that they stand firm, and that they go full bore and go just refuse to honor the debt ceiling. I want that to happen, because that will maybe stop Obama and the continue of neoliberalism and the march of empire, because nothing else is going to stop it. Not that I see it. But that's my sort of thoughts. The original blog of this was a little bit more dramatic and long-term, and I went into more details about the campaign financing and the gerrymandering and the bubble, how the bubbles were created as far as the information bubbles that the current right-wing people find themselves in. Rural, poor, white Southerners and working-class folks have been they've been herded into a dead end. They truly are going into a nowhere. They've been positioned and marginalized, and they're going to die. And this has set them up to be further and further marginalized, and send them deeper and deeper into a path of unreality. And they will go deeper into the rabbit hole of marginalization and be stuck more into the Alex Jones, Glenn Beck world, and it would isolate them from the rest of society, in which we could probably build a large, broad-based movement against the coming feudalism that's coming. But working-class white folks have been successfully played, and it's sort of sad. So that's my thoughts on the day. No, I don't expect that the Tea Party goes full bore. Eventually, what happened is Bonnier gets his money from his 6 or 7 figure guaranteed lobbying contract, and he will remove the Hastings Agreement. And they vote this down, and they don't go to the debt ceiling. Or Ted Cruz rolls over, and his wife explains, Goldman Sachs is not happy with you, Ted. Now get back down there and do what you do best. All right, that's my thoughts for the day. Hopefully this was entertaining and enjoyable. Please like, favorite, and subscribe. I'm very thankful for everyone that has subscribed and everybody that has liked. Thank you very much. Thank you.